For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Andy Serling, joined by Anthony Stabile. It's nice to be back. Beautiful day here at Belmont. Of course, 3:05 post today. Churchill starts, I think, at 5.
5 on a button,
covering
yep.
all those races here in Churchill, as always, on FS2 from 3 to 8:30 tonight, I believe.
I believe last post at
Churchill's
Churchill's 8:23, I believe.
Yeah,
So
3 to 8 or 8:30.
8:30.
I'm not sure. 8:30, okay.
Yeah.
I will be on the early shift with Acacia.
Okay.
Shall we get working? We're a little bit late to start, so let's head over to NYRA Bets. If you're not a member, head on over to NYRABets.com. We will match up $200 your initial deposit. Match 200 is the promo code there, NYRABets.com. What else do we have today, Francisco, to talk about? I know we have a Saturday contest here at Belmont through NYRA Bets. Head over to NYRA.com/challenge. You have until tomorrow to sign up. Tomorrow at 5, $300 buy-in live money contest. I think we have a 50-50 today with Churchill as well. Bet 50 or more at each track through the app and the app only Thursdays at Belmont and Churchill, and get a $10 bonus. That it? We done with those? Can we go to work?
We are done.
Race number 1. Let's start the conversation in race number 1 with the favorite, who I have second, you have on top. And that's up 74. I know he's not favored. She's not favored right now. We'll take a look at her finishing second last time. Race where Tap the Barrel also finished 4th. She will be favored by post time. Overdressed, obviously, is somewhat of a contender. She's the worst. I didn't have anything against her. I just didn't want to pick her on top.
Yeah, hated to kick the week off with some chalk, but I agree. She's the worst to beat. She ran a couple of good races to win, and then the second place finish. Now the blinkers go on for Actress, who's having a good start to the Belmont Sprint.
The blinkers going on, good or bad? Why is a horse who's running the better races putting blinkers on?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little curious to me. I don't know if they're looking to sharpen her up even more. She's
Maybe
been
they
on
wanted
the
to
lead in the last 2.
give you something to talk about.
Maybe they wanted to give me something to talk about, yeah. But the blinkers do go on. Maybe it's to get her to focus a little bit more. I don't know.
Focus on what?
Is
she bringing a newspaper to the race or something? Maybe she bring a book.
I don't have a great
she
answer.
Lost her place. And
like I said, she's shown speed in her last 2. She's drawn outside here.
Could be that Kendrick Carmouche guy's fault.
Curious to see what the blinkers do. Well, Kendrick has been known to give his advice and have some input.
Has anyone been known to listen is really the question.
Yeah,
Apparently
sure.
Rob Atras may be the first one. So Kendrick, you found a captive audience. I'm not impressed with Overdressed, who in my opinion has been winning races on slow fields. So I didn't like the 6 or the 5. You have the 6 second. I wanted a new face. We'll go back to Lucky Sitka. There were 2. One of them scratched. Navigating Gal was a new face. And Lucky Sitka. Now, Lucky Sitka broke her maiden back in October at Belmont. Didn't get bet. It was the slop. She didn't run a particularly fast fig. You know what? Gets Lasix for the second start. I want a new face. This was the debut as a 2-year-old. Source says 6 months to improve from there. Could easily get the figure into the 60s, which is good enough to win this race. And I just didn't want to rely on, I don't like the 6, and I don't totally trust the 7, who seems like the horse to beat.
Yeah.
Just a little bit hoping for improvement on a horse that, did enough running first time out with routine improvement, could be a contender here.
Game effort too. She got herself involved in a little bit of a stretch battle and got the job done. Debut.
Well kept secret.
Sloppy track. There's a little bit of moisture left. I even wonder if by the time we swing the latch for the opener, if it's all gone.
The listing is good.
Yeah, it's listed as good. Turf course.
Turf is listed as good.
Track's open.
I wouldn't worry about the racetrack. We'll move on to race number 2. The question here is a logical but a loser. a first-time star that cost a lot of money, and a horse that you have on top in the one Steal My Sunshine. As far as back channel, I don't love this horse and don't want to jump on her at a short price, but don't need to take the one who you've already still taken in here, who will probably get overbet for the wrong reasons, but can obviously win. Back channel did chase outside against a gold rail, so was a bit up against it. Still ran a 75 buyer, which is probably faster than anyone in here can run, and that was against the racetrack. And it did look like she ran badly in her last race, but the reality was the winner ran like a stakes horse, and she came back and ran like a stakes horse. So she made us to met a super tough field. I get it. Back channel's unreliable, but the reality is she's fairly reliable to run faster figures. They better have the running shoes on to beat her. I put her on top.
Yeah, she made a lot of sense. I just wanted to take a shot against her. The two starts back when she was horrible at 2 to 5.
No, she ran fine last time.
She ran fine last time. She's been beaten by speed. I'm not comparing Aunt Cat to a horse like Steal My Sunshine. Blinker's coming off, by the way. That's a late equipment change.
On who?
First on the one, Steal My Sunshine.
We shouldn't allow that.
Well,
I don't know why we do.
Blinkers are off. First time Lasix. Speed from the rail. This filly stopped in both of her starts as a 2-year-old. I'm wondering if the Lasix is really going to help her. Hasn't run in almost 9 months now. Took money in both of her starts. We'll see if she comes back firing at first off the break.
Yeah, I mean, she dueled with Fouette last time, but finished third. It was a pace that was pretty quick that collapsed, but the reality is that Fouette finished third, and the second place finisher, Saratoga Commando, a Chad Brown horse that has not run back since that race, was attacking the pace. She was bad, and she's been bet in both her starts and been back. I don't disagree. She's potentially dangerous. And Big City Mama is going to take money. She's a $700,000 man. I tell you what, $700,000? Did you see the pedigree for that?
No, no. I don't really want to take any shots.
Yeah,
it
was a lot of money. No, it was a lot of
money.
The answer
is no.
Given the pedigree, I mean, I know sharp quality roads can be expensive, but wow. So we'll see if this one's a runner for Shug McGee. This horse was probably bought by Mark Hennig, right? Well, Shug didn't start training for Cortland Farm until last year. This horse was bought in 2019. I don't know that Mark,
or that team, correct?
Right. I don't want to. If she runs well, I'm going to say that Mark definitely picked her out. If she runs poorly, I'll say it was somebody else. I don't know, but it was. Keep in mind, initially this horse would have been going to Mark.
Yeah.
We'll see if she's a runner. Shug had that other runner for Cortland Farms that took a lot of money, a firster that stunk. I think it's coming back tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yep.
I'm sure it's all the pollen that was left on this that's now got me going on. Race number 3, I struggled with race number 3, and we'll start with the Tiergun Too Early race, and I'm not going back to Tiergun. We'll show the last. We'll show the last race. I think Too Early actually ran the better race of the two. I know it was a wet track. Tiergun's now going to get a 1 1/8, which I think is a bit of a question mark for him. He's a horse that's much happier finishing second in races. I do think he ran a good race 2 back and may have run the better effort to Wild Banker, who is in good form. Though he was fortunate to win his next start. I thought he had no excuse not to win this race. I don't see him getting better with more distance, and I feel like Tiergun may be a horse that had very good trips and very good setups, and he had his best chances to win races. He won one of them with an incredibly fortunate trip, but the competition's gotten tougher. The decisions have gotten farther. He can win. I don't trust him.
Yeah, I don't really know if I could disagree with anything you've said. His 3 races for Rudy off the claim have been better than anything he's run in the past. I'm not going to disagree. When he got the money, it was a perfect trip. He ran okay, I thought, in his next 2. He's going to get who knows what the track.
You're worrying about the track. It's fine.
Well, no, I'm not. Just not that I'm necessarily worried about the track. He's going to run fast track for Rudy first time, you would think. I wanted to take a little bit of a shot against him. His 3 races for Rudy.
Okay, how do you have him on top and not have the 5 in your top 4? How does that make sense?
I feel like Tiergun not having gone the distance. I know Too Early's one going distance. That was a terrible field up at Saratoga. I don't know if either of them. I thought about taking a shot against both of them. I'm just not a Too Early fan. I feel like there are a couple.
But I don't know how you can say I want Tiergun after the last race and not have the 5 in the top 4.
Well, because I think Tiergun might appreciate the distance a little bit more.
You think Tiergun's going to want more distance?
I don't know.
He's not. It's very unlikely he's going to.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to.
Does he run his races like he wants more distance? He doesn't run. Well, you're a guy who's very distance focused, and to me, Tiergun's a horse that doesn't want more distance. We'll move on to some others in here. I know that.
I thought about putting Mingo John on top, and I saw David like this horse today.
I don't get this horse at all. Why do you like him?
I think he's another horse that I think his pedigree and his running style does lend you to believe more distance is going to be his friend.
Boy, I didn't like him at all. I suppose he could win. I don't trust it. I'm not going to. I mean, no Lime to me is sort of ludicrous, but other than him, I'm not going to be shocked by any result.
Agreed
and I
with
think
that,
Big
too.
John's going to be nowhere near the 8-1 if David picks him, Mike Beer picks him. Obviously, a lot of people like him. I didn't see it. I just don't think that Lobster and Chocolat are really that good.
You might be
honest.
right, and you might be right.
But you know, he did make some run at him, so I guess no one's possible. Our man Mike, you know, he ran well last time. I don't like that Shinjuku came back and dropped a few buyer points, and I don't know. We'll see how good the race was. He got a very good setup in there, but he did run well.
He got a good setup. Yeah, he ran well, and maybe it was his first time beyond 6 furlongs as well. Maybe that helped his cause as well. And great workout's an interesting one because the race he comes out of isn't a very fast one, but they're going from 6 to 9 furlongs. I mean, his pedigree tells you he shouldn't mind the stretch out. He's worked well since his win. Right, like you said, No Lime's kind of tough to make. The rest of them.
Well, I don't know where No Lime's last race came from. I have idea where it may have come from, but I don't know where it came from.
Right.
As far as great workout, we'll take a look at his race. I want to show the last 3 eighths of his race. He's an interesting horse in a vacuum because in a vacuum, he'd be a horse that would be a big price in here, right? He didn't run a particularly fast buyer. I don't know how good this field was going forward. He had no idea what he was doing out there. I don't know how this horse was 4-5 in his debut because he seems like a Todd Pledger horse that didn't know very rare for that barn. He just had no idea what he was doing out there, and he still won. Yeah. So.
And Arad's getting after him here to get to the money, but it kind of feels like at the 8th hole, he's like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. And at the 8th hole, you could see him kind of kick in.
Well, the race also slowed down dramatically in the last 1/8 of a mile as well. I'm not sure. I mean, on the surface of things, I don't know what to do with him. If he was going to be 6 or 8-1 in this race, I would have picked him on top. But he's got Irad Ortiz riding him. So with that factor, even if he was supposed to be 5-1, you'd be lucky to get 7-2. And I just feel like he's a horse who can win here, but he's going to be horrendous value.
Yeah,
so,
I don't disagree.
But, I mean, this is a race where I'm glad for pick 6 players, at least from my perspective, it's not in the sequence because on different tickets, I'd have to have them all in there somewhere, and it's tough to narrow it down. I don't love too early. I just feel like too early will be a square enough price. He's not a winning type either. He and Tiergan have the same problem. They don't like to win. I do think he actually ran pretty well last time, and I disagree with you. I think he's run some better races, and I think 1 1/8 mile will suit him just fine. I'm not convinced I like him. I just didn't like the others, to be honest.
And like
I thought
you
his
said,
price would be okay.
Who knows where that No Lime race came from, but he went on a mission on the lead
ran.
last time,
He's
and he's
definitely
probably going to
to
do the same thing.
Right. I know that it looks on paper like the 1 or 5 could be speed. No Lime is going to the lead here. I mean, Hector Diaz has to send him in this race. I completely agree with that, Anthony. Do we have a slate for the pick 6 carryover? Or I guess 3 days wasn't.
If we don't, it's $56,516.15.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Look at that. Francisco. He's got more tricks up his sleeve. He's like Houdini had nothing on Francisco. Pick 6 carryover, as you said, 56. A lot of 5s and 6s in there.
And even the 15 cents
could have got him a little reversed. If the one in the middle had been 165, it could have been a palindromic.
Yes.
Yeah, it could have. That was good.
Thanks.
We're on the same wavelength here. It really is impressive. Anyhow, I like that we have the pick 6 carryovers back, and they're not those awful jackpots. And they're legitimate carryovers. And we had one, and it's worth mentioning with the CAW players not in the pool. You saw what happened last time. You got about a little over 3 times. You had a positive equity. Every dollar you bet in the last carryover, you get $1.06 back. These are great opportunities.
Love the dollar. We'll love the dollar denomination as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are responding. We'll see how they respond going forward. I found this to be. This is a Maggie suck up?
No.
Oh, that's adorable. That's so nice that you're sucked up to Maggie my first day back.
Who do you want in here, Andy?
Not a first-time starter that's a half to 2 foals that couldn't outrun you and I in a horse suit. That I know. I don't want that
It's
horse.
not 6 foals, it's 2. And that was part of the reason I said, you know what? It's not like it's
the
just
third is the charm. Is that
it's not like
no
it's
tip
just been,
here?
No.
Because I'm going to check with Maggie if there's something going on.
No
here.
tip at all. Never said a word to her. I don't know who you want to come up here and make an actual case for, because I can't. You want to take Ned Allard? I get it. You've had a lot of success with the guy. The horse makes sense.
I don't know why you're guessing with
spread.
first-time starters. I mean, aren't you supposed to at least handicap it?
Okay.
What is there to recommend? He said no pedigree and no workouts.
Well, the other 2 weren't really sprint sires. It was Cairo Prince and.
Majestic Perfection. That brilliant sire will be honing his speed.
Listen, like I said.
Okay. I have no idea what. Maybe this horse is an international tip. Trevor McCarthy was riding him going to California in a couple of weeks. Wish Trevor the best of luck. I'll be sorry for him to
that's
leave.
I think that's a smart move.
Look, I hope it turns out to be the best movie ever made, and I wish him the best of luck. Good guy and a good rider, and I think that California will benefit from his presence out there, and I hope that he gets his opportunities to ride. I think you saw here when he got his chances, he's done a fabulous job.
Yes.
As far as this race, Tiny Magoo. All I know is I don't want any Tiny Magoos. Obviously, he can win. He finished second last time to Big Tony's Girl in the driving rain. And I liked Big Tony's Girl today. I never figured it was like 4 to 5 or even money, wasn't he? He's a crazy. She was. Yeah. How do you rely? How do you trust this horse? Just so many chances.
How about two back? That race two back. I mean, just appalling.
That was an appalling effort.
That was an appalling effort.
I cannot agree more. That was an appalling effort. I took my man Ned Allard.
I don't blame you.
Well, I mean, this horse got bet in his debut down to 5-2, and the second horse came back and improved 19 Beyer points. The third horse came back and improved 25 Beyer points. I think it's sort of interesting to look at that. This horse absolutely had no run, 2 to 3 wide in the turn. Didn't really do any running. I'm not going to defend it off that race, but Ned Allard ships one up. Jose Ortiz has them out. I just thought this was an interesting new face. I think the one after the wire is very dangerous. Getting a really, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you don't have this horse in there. There's a big rider switch to Kendrick Carmouche, and I mean, you look at this horse. This horse ran behind Maracuja last time, and is getting Kendrick Carmouche. I mean, this horse to me, I don't think this horse will be 10-1. This horse makes a lot of sense in this race.
Yeah,
and even the 8 Miss Alex is not impossible.
No, I put Miss Alex section shipping up.
No after the wire. I actually thought you'd pick after the wire on top. In my heart, in my dark heart, I thought you would have after the wire on top.
Trying to get my man Morley home with a firster. I'm going to use the 3, 4, 7, and 8 in the pick 4 and pick 5.
All right. That is the first leg of the pick 6, in case you didn't notice. It's a carryover, $56,516.
Lots of 5s and 6s in there.
I heard that. Yeah, it was almost a palindrome. Are numbers palindromes or only
Numbers are palindromic.
They could be palindromes?
Yes.
Okay. Pretty excited to see we may be fixing up the floor, the third floor too.
I did.
People were here. I saw some of our old friends were here. It was
I saw Brian walking in today.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh, Brian's here?
Yeah, Brian's here.
I haven't seen Brian in 2 years. He's such a good guy. Brian, make sure you come by the studio and wave goodbye. I'll be on the early part if Brian's watching. Good man. No, I haven't seen him.
No, we haven't seen him.
I think Aqueduct one day in 19, he stopped by the studio because he does come occasionally, but haven't seen him at all, and it's nice to welcome our friends back. I hope my friend Roy gets out here soon. Race number 5, you stole my pick. We'll start out with advance notice.
Here we go.
We'll start out with advance notice. 2
Stole
races
all your
back,
picks.
losing to Tiergan. I actually picked this horse not knowing the 5 was scratching. I can't pick advance notice. I can't do it. I don't know what happened last time. You've got the Irad Ortiz factor, and the reality of this horse is, since the debut, when nobody in the world liked him, including the barn, this horse has come back and run 7 times with 4 seconds.
And the problem with last
short price is one race after another.
The problem with last time is, and yes, each wet track is different. The horse had been 9 furlongs on a wet track, and he ran well. And now last time out, he's
he was on a muddy Faro track, and it was a sealed track. But still, I can't take this horse. He wins, I lose. I pick.
And now he's back in for a tag for the first time since the day no one liked him. They had that starter condition that they weren't able to win. And listen, this horse earned $70,000 winning a maiden 20 and finished.
Well, he did run for 20 first time out. So.
That's what I'm saying. For the first time since his debut.
Their only mistake was not running horse for $25,000 after that maiden win and losing him. Though he's probably actually made decent money.
That's what you said. He made $70,000.
Well, but he's only made about 40 of it since the Saratoga debut. 45 of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Dangerous Edge is sort of he was the logical horse with the 5 in here because there appeared to be much pace, and we'll use that after this to segue to the 1. My problem with him is he's just sort of sucking up for pieces in here, and he needs this race to fall apart. It may, but...
Well, I tried him last time, and it fell apart, and he still didn't get there. So
yeah, but Obsessed was the big favorite,
so
it's not like
that,
he
but
was.
He still,
he didn't lose to a 10-1 shot.
No,
he wasn't supposed to win.
Right, he got beat. He lost.
He ran
lost
his
to a
race.
4-5 shot. But
he's basically a low 70 Beyer horse.
Yeah.
And with Moonlight now, you've got a horse that's coming out of a wicked pace, first time off a 13-month layoff. He's now the controlling inside speed. Man, he's supposed to go to the front and hope for the best with him. You're not getting 6-1. This race has dramatically changed around. But David did know Deputy Flag, and he made him 6-1. Maybe. But
well, they can't resist advance notice. Like you said, they're going to see. They're also going to see the rider.
They're going to go for
they're gonna
million.
They're going to see the rider change on Dangerous Edge, and I think that's going to get him some money. Whether it's right or wrong, it's going to get him some money, I would think.
Well, I think Malayan. Is it Malayan? I don't know.
I think it's Moline.
Moline?
Yeah, I'm not sure though. It's
Sounds
a
like a
Donegal.
song.
It's an old Donegal horse. I think it's Moline.
Is that like somewhere in Ireland?
Probably.
You really need a dictionary for those, dictionary with pronunciations for the Donegal horses. They should put out the Donegal Stable Dictionary of horses.
I have a website I use.
The Donegal website gives you pronunciations of everything. I know a lot of people like Moline. I don't like this horse at all. I actually think the Giant Shoes did run better than this horse last time because I think Giant Shoes made the earlier move in a race that collapsed.
Probably made a move
and
too
I know
soon.
this horse did get shuffled back a bit. There's no doubt about it. And there's an argument for both sides. And I'm not saying it's a cut and dried argument. But the reality is, in some ways, getting shuffled back may have helped this horse. I just thought that was a hard field last time. I mean, one of the reasons I liked Giant Shoes in the last race was I just thought he finally found a field he could beat. And I respect Bob Caceres, but he's claiming this horse from Todd Pletcher, to expect him to improve seems unlikely.
Yes, I don't disagree with anything you said. And I think it's kind of the reverse with the horse we both put on top. Isn't that race last time just better horses than these?
Oh, well, 1,000 times better than them. And we'll try to wire the field, see what happens. Todd Pletcher got in the Hall of Fame in his first year. I want to...
I'd like to know if... I don't know
If it wasn't
either.
unanimous, anybody that didn't vote for Todd Pletcher should really have to explain that vote to keep their vote.
Right? I mean,
American Pharoah?
Yeah, American Pharoah.
Listen, I'm not his world's biggest fan, but he's an automatic.
But he's an automatic.
Automatic
he's
first
unanimous.
Hall of Fame. I couldn't agree more.
Right. Congratulations to Jack Fisher, who got in as well.
Yep.
And then we're going to celebrate all of the inductees for this year and from last year. We did not have a ceremony last year.
I saw Mark Casse, actually. I sat down and chatted with him for a little while on Saturday. It was nice to see him. You know, as I see him, I hadn't seen him. He didn't come to Saratoga at all last summer, so I hadn't seen him in almost 2 years.
Might be August 6th.
Don't know.
I'm not 100% sure.
Don't know. We're going to take a break. The late pick 4 coming up.
Make business meetings exquisite. Make a weekend outing exquisite. Make a late night snack exquisite. Make a night on the town exquisite. For nearly 150 years, the Saratoga Spring Water Company has been producing the finest spring water available anywhere. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses in the wind tunnel with no pucks. Sponsored by our good friends at Saratoga Water. Appreciate that.
Doing double duty as the sponsor and the pucks today.
Well, why would you clean the desk or have pucks up here? Race number 6 is at 11 furlongs, and this is not an easy one for the pick 6. Wow, you have Royale 4th.
I do.
What do you have against Royale?
I don't know what I'm supposed to like or love about
Well,
Royale.
the horse is probably bred to handle the distance. Ran against better last time.
The tag doesn't bother you first time?
This is a maiden 50, Anthony. This is not a maiden special. This is a maiden 50.
And
I'll tell you something. See, I also think this horse ran very well first time. That was a very moderate pace. There was a race that was totally dominated on the front end. He had trouble early. I thought he actually ran extremely well in that race. And the second horse was a drop down for Klarovich. The winner was coming off a layoff. Was it Maker, I think? That was an unusually tough race. I don't love him, but I think he's absolutely the horse to beat in here. I'm shocked you have him for it. We obviously completely disagree in this race.
Yeah.
You have him below Summer Silence.
Horse that's getting a late. I mean, this horse didn't even return to the work tab until mid-April.
We're at 72 lunches. Can I bet 3 over 2 for a lunch? You can bet 2 if you want.
We could bet. Yeah, I'll take 2.
Okay. First lunch bet in a couple weeks. When's the first Belmont lunch bet?
No. Oh, maybe.
Because I think we were 72 at Act. Whatever. It doesn't
Could
matter.
be.
Anyway. Geez.
Yeah, it's all the dressings of a Stabile pick, right? Christophe, Joel.
Well, I don't, but I just thought he was very logical. I mean, why Summer Silence? Isn't his turf race? Well, you like Kana's Key. So we'll show Kana's Key from another race later, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Why am I supposed to like this horse?
Kana's Key or Summer Silence?
Kana's Key.
Well, so we're watching Kana's Key right now.
Yeah, this is his race last time. This is not the one before it when he finished ahead of Summer Silence.
I feel like. I felt like
terrible.
I don't think this is the toughest maiden special weight race we're ever going to see. I think
He's had 4 starts, though.
I think he's going to appreciate the 11 furlongs.
Why?
Why? I mean, by flincher out of an Empire Make a Mare. If anybody's going to appreciate 11 in
Not
here.
really a damn side that says this horse is going to want more distance. Flintshire's been a very disappointing sire so far, to be fair.
I mean, it's been.
I don't like this horse at all. I'm not saying he can't win.
I didn't know what to do here.
I think he's the Chad Brown. I think you've got a Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, in an open race, which is hard, and he's going to take a ridiculous amount of money in here, and I think he's probably 6 to 8 to 1.
Do you really think he's going to take that much money? I mean, I guess he has to.
Chad Brown
right?
and Irad Ortiz. Let me think.
I guess he has to.
Yes, I think he's going to take a lot of money.
I guess he has to.
He will take a lot of money in here. And, he finished at a Summer Silence, who Christophe Clement thought so much of him, he ran him in the dirt twice after that. He wasn't wrong, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that was. Why he ran him on turf.
But why
first
do you
time,
like
then
him?
The dirt. I like him getting back to turf. He's another horse I feel like he's going to appreciate some more.
Really? Those Union Rags are not only lawnmowers, but they also like long distances? Okay, we just completely disagree in this race. It's a very tricky race. I get it. I wish Gold Bear had real turf pedigree. I know it's a Pioneer of the Nile, but Friends Lake Dam, it's really better turf. It's not really a turf family. I have the horse in there somewhere.
Better dirt. Yeah.
Dirt, I mean, because the horse is supposed to want to run all day in here.
He's the horse that I think, right. The reason he's in here is the distance. If he can turf, he's going to be dangerous because he's supposed to eat up furlongs. He's supposed to love this distance, but there is zero turf pedigree there.
It's not zero, but it's not.
On the bottom end?
No, and the bottom end is not turf. I agree. I like Proven Innocent in here for a couple of reasons. I know this horse after Ironicus, but if you go through the whole family, it's an exceptional family, and they're horses that mostly could run longer distances. Ironicus was more the exception, the rule. He was the most, probably the most talented, but there were a lot of good horses in there, but he was really a miler. He did run a good second in our Manhattan. Did we lose audio in the building?
I couldn't hear.
Guys, the audio seems to not be working in the building. I don't know if it's a problem anywhere else. His last race is not that bad, Proven Innocent. And I think it's important to remember, first of all, he was 2.5 to 3, 4 wide the whole way around the track after breaking a step slowly. Second of all, that was a race that was completely dominated on the front end. The third place finisher in the race, Public Information, some will remember, was compromised as well by the lack of pace in there. He came back and ran 10 Beyer points better in breaking his maiden here. I want to say opening day, maybe. At Belmont opening, or one of the first couple of days here, it seems like a long time ago. And so I think that's a race that was very unfavorable to closers. And I think he ran better than it looks. Bit of a wide trip at Gulfstream. And I look at this pedigree and think, this horse that can really stretch out. It's also a new gelding for whatever that's worth. I thought Proven Innocent was very interesting, and he's the one I'm sort of guessing will improve with distance.
Okay.
I mean, it is a very, very hard race.
It's a tough race.
Yeah.
Look, the 6 Nose Island ran okay first time out. Who knows what's going to happen going
Yeah,
11
I agree.
furlongs.
I agree. I think he's my fourth pick, yeah. Tuda Paisi, the dam. Yeah. I didn't think this horse was in a particularly strong field last time, so even though it was a maiden special, I'm not sure it was that strong a field, but I agree. That horse can win.
Kind of a similar race to this one.
And listen, Connor's Key can win. He's just not for me as a Chad and Irad horse and as an underlay, you know. I just feel like there will be better value elsewhere. Race number 7. Your favorite horse is back. We'll take a look at Double or Nothing beating Movie Score, and this is 2 races back actually for both of them. Obviously, Double or Nothing was in way, way over her head last time and didn't run. We'll give her an excuse in the sloppy track being against so much better horses. And she's a cool story for Eduardo Jones, right?
Yeah, she's been good. She was good most of the winter. She's already won 3 races this year. When she's in spots and gets, I don't want to say favorable setups, but
I don't think she's
not impossible.
I think she's just run well.
Yeah, she's just run well. When she's not in over her head and when she doesn't have impossible setups like the Malibu Mischief Day where Malibu Mischief just walked around a racetrack, she's been competitive this winter. I mean, she's run 8 times, 3 wins. I think she just makes a lot of sense in a race that, quite frankly, a lot of these don't make too much. They do not make too much sense.
Right, except the problem for her is the general lack of speed. And with the scratch of Madeira, Baby Boss is the controlling speed. We'll take a look at a Rob Atras stat. How about this? Over the last year, Rob Atras is 10 for 25 off the claim in dirt sprints. 18 of them hit the board. He's been firing all cylinders. I don't love the claim for 40 and the drop to 20. I will not disagree with that. But he is coming out of, or she's coming out of a race that did fall apart a bit. and she looks like the controlling speed. I think she's much the horse to beat in here. I'd use these two. I would very much hone in on these two in this race.
I agree. The scratch certainly helped her the most. Probably the biggest scratch on the card.
Well, it not only helps her, it hurts. It hurts double or nothing.
It helps her, and
so
it hurts double or
it's like
nothing.
a double help, you know.
But I'm with you. If this race didn't make a lot of sense to me, with the scratch, it makes a little bit more sense to me. If one of those two mares don't win, I'll be tearing pick 4s and pick 5s. There's not really much else to say about the rest of them.
How do you tear them up if you bet them on your phone?
It's all literal. It's like the Royal
There
League,
should be like a way to put an app in that makes it sound like you're ripping when you just like go like this to the phone.
Techies out there, Andy just gave you a wonderful idea.
Somebody's going to get rich off that. I will remain broke.
Yes, because if you tell me I can pay $5 for an app that lets me virtually tear my tickets,
pay for
I'm
apps?
in. I'm just saying, if you got to monetize it somehow.
Advertising, baby. That's the way to go.
All right.
How was your weekend at Foxwoods?
I was at Mohegan Sun.
Mohegan Sun, excuse me.
It was awesome.
Foxwoods wasn't really. It was sort of a non-event.
We had a great time. I hope they had a good time at Foxwoods. I had a blast at Mohegan Sun.
There actually was there was a doppelganger for Anthony there.
We had a lot of fun.
Good.
We had a lot of laughs.
Good. I'm glad. Good time to laugh.
Cashed a couple of tickets. Could have used to cash one more, but you beat me. So.
The way it goes. Yeah, I had a great time at Churchill, by the way. Really had a great time. Really
you kind of you were in rush mode when we got up here. We didn't congratulate Todd until midway through the show. American Pharaoh, Jack Fisher. We didn't talk about your trip. You came up. You came up like Jackie's Warrior.
Came up here and it was a mess.
You were going 43.
It was a mess. It was ridiculous up here. I blame Francisco for that. Race number 8.
I exonerated him.
I don't think there's any question the horse to beat is Silky Blue. We'll look at Silky Blue beating Screamin' By, and my favorite horse, Dancing with Daffodils, who I do think actually ran pretty well considering the lack of pace. This was a race that was over less than a quarter mile into the race. When Gotta Go Mo was able to go 23, it compromised the closers. Fortunately for Silky Blue, she was able to get a bit closer, and obviously it had a lot to do with her finishing second, so we try to get that video up. I could take a little break if you want, a bathroom break or something. Has this one been opened yet?
Yes, that's mine.
Well, this one had been open. I didn't get a psst when I opened it. So.
You opened it. You took a sip out of it before you left. I knew because I.
How's that video going, Francisco?
The other one open. Anyway,
let's take a break. Francisco's probably in the bathroom.
I mean, she's obviously the horse to beat in here. I had a little bit of a fuzzy opinion. She's obviously the horse to beat in here. She's run well.
Did we lose that video, Francisco? Speak to one of us. Was I in an alternate universe when I left? Have you heard from Francisco?
No.
Should we send the EMTs down there to make sure he's okay?
No. Our cameraman is going to figure it out. Anyway.
If anybody sees Francisco roaming the building.
Here we go. Here it is. Here it is.
Francisco apologizes to everybody.
Francisco had a tough trip.
Francisco's a wonderful man. There she is on the outside, by the way. This makes all the difference. Let me ask you a question. Are you a little worried, though, the Violent Point could be the controlling speed today, and that could make a difference?
Well, this race was a little the pace scenario in here a little bit dicey, right? Violent Point, you would imagine,
unless Kendra goes with Impassable Donna.
Well, Impassable
really
Donna,
fast enough to run with her, though?
I don't know. I had a little opinion. So I basically, not knowing how this thing was going to shake out.
You have an insane opinion.
Well, here's the opinion I have. I went to the important one. The important one
not named for Anthony,
has
in case
run
you're
well
wondering.
Fresh. Broke a maiden first time out.
Or the PBs.
Ran well off a couple of months. Ran well off another couple of months.
You realize she didn't run that well on June 5th, right? She got an unbelievable trip.
She got a great setup,
and it was a huge pace.
She still got the money and got the job done.
Over a horse you don't have in the top 4 by a head.
When she ran up to 2.5
with a better
months,
trip,
she ran into Lead Guitar, who Lead Guitar turned into a very nice sprinter around here last year.
Right, but that was sort of before she became the Lead Guitar that we
I
saw.
don't think she has to be too far off whatever the pace is.
Here's the problem. The good race she ran, she came from way back at a fast pace.
But hold on a second.
We don't have
the good race on the turf, but she ran okay on the dirt, laid up close. I know it wasn't a fast race, but she was competitive.
How did she do last time laying up close?
Well, hold on. She's been gone now since that race. So
well,
with 2 months
we
left,
only ran turf race.
With 2 months left in the turf season, Andy, I'm not going to. I don't know a story here, but I'm not going to just go ahead and assume. I'm going to assume.
Can we have a fan poll that there's a
I'm
tip?
going to assume something. There's
gonna
no
call
tip
Toby
here. I haven't
Sheets.
talked to
I'm
anybody
gonna
from
contact
Toby.
Toby Sheets
I have not talked to
instantly.
anybody from Steve's Barn or Toby. What I'm saying to you is, I'm going to assume with 2 months left in the season, something went wrong last time. And now she's missed the time. She has a couple of nice workouts coming into this. She's supposed to
What
get.
race does she have that can win? That's the
I think
problem.
the lead guitar. I think the lead guitar race can win.
Really?
Yeah. Why
Okay.
can't the lead guitar race win?
Because she
And
didn't do
this
any
is
running
assuming she's
whatsoever.
not gonna
She didn't do any running
And
whatsoever
this
in
is,
that race.
this is assuming she's not going to improve a little bit
Okay.
from 3 to 4.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought she was a little interesting.
She's
in
supposed to
here.
be a huge price in here. I wish you the best of luck. If she beats me, I'll tip my hat to you. I wish you the best of luck. I hear you. I don't like her at all, but okay. Listen, I'm going to use Dancing with Daffodils. Nope, there's more pace because she's good enough. But then again, if I'm going to use Dancing for Daffodils, I'm not sure that your horse can't win by that same token. But she's a much better price. As far as Courageous Dinah, I know she is good enough to win this race. I know she is. And in fact, the race we're looking at here when she finished third, she actually ran pretty well in here. There was absolutely no pace. She swung wide. The horse that won came up the fence. The horse that won were forwardly placed. The horse that beat her for second, the horse that won came up the fence. The horse that beat her for second had a dream trip, and she was making a big wide move in there. Her 6 furlong race in the Hessenite, she didn't really run that badly in there. Mentality, those are better horses than she's running against today. This is a horse that has races that are absolutely good enough to win, and she's going to be a fair price in here. I don't love her. I don't by any stretch. I think Silky Blue's the horse to beat. But I think Courageous Dinah is better than her odds. Violent Point's dangerous because of her speed. We'll see if it plays out that way. But I think Courageous Dinah, and listen, I will fully admit I have a thing for Courageous Dinah. I've also cast some bets with Courageous Dinah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't see any reason that she can't run back to those good races. Her last race in October is good enough to win here.
Yeah, my problem with Violent Point is I know she's the controlling speed, but I just think she's better on dirt. That's not to say she can't win this race.
No. I don't think that's a unfair question. I
know?
agree. She had good trips in those dirt. She had good trips in those dirt races. Trust me, I'm not in love with her either.
Yeah.
But if she's the clear speed, I think that could make her dangerous. That's all.
I mean, we're assuming she's the clear speed. I'd be very.
She is on paper.
She is on paper. I'd be very surprised if they're not forward with Impossible Donna, but who knows?
No, I think she should be forward too. And Kendrick will probably look to be aggressive because Irad's not that aggressive in these races. So Kendrick may have an opportunity to seize control. And whether or not you like Impassable Donna, who doesn't have much turf pedigree, I think that gives her a chance in there. It's just I wish there was some turf pedigree.
Tough.
in there.
It's
It's an interesting race.
it's an interesting
and listen, it may
feature.
come down to Silky Blue's just the best horse in here. She's not slow. She could sit a good trip, and she may just end up being the best horse.
If she runs her last race, she's probably going to win this race.
Among the many things that security system screwed up is my phone. Now I get phone texts, and they're from phone numbers. All the names were lost. Just a great thing. I'm hoping to have a computer one day, though. Working on that. Race number 9. I know I want to bet a race where Zorenia is going to be the favorite. And we'll take a look at Zorenia's last
You really
race.
think she's going to be the favorite?
Well, who's going to be favored over her, Anth?
Yeah, you might be right. They love betting this Corey scores all the time. I don't know if she'll be favored, though. You're probably right. Yeah, here she is getting the money just 2 weeks ago. Opening day. Actually, this was the third race of the meet. Getting it done.
This was a hungry field.
It was a hungry field. I led this hungry field. Well, not me. I tried to get us Fuzzy home. Yeah, the blinkers seemed to help.
This was a hungry
Finished
field.
well. It was a hungry field.
I know she ran a figure that makes her fast enough to win.
Three 230 to 1 shots
She
this
may
day.
have found a relatively hungry field again. So I'm not going to be shocked if she wins, but I can't bet on her.
No.
I tried to make Ava Kay's girl, who may have been a bit forward last time, but the reality is she stunk. And even her second place finish 2 back, how good was that field? I didn't find a lot to choose from. What do you like? You keep picking these Irad Ortiz horses. You're going to be one of the herd that bets every horse that
I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
You're supposed
Andy.
to look to pick against Irad Ortiz horses. They're going to be overbet because Irad's riding them. Haven't we been through this?
Yeah, I'm not going to.
You can do it again if you want. I'm always up for it.
I'm just not going to. I mean, Source had the one race off the layoff. The Donk horses all seem to be running.
They do?
Since Aqueduct.
They do?
I feel like even if they're not
He does
winning,
have 2
they're
wins in
running.
2 months, so they're
I feel
flying.
like they're running. He hit the ball with a couple of big prices. Listen, I didn't know what to do in here. I didn't find. The problem is I didn't have any I didn't have anything interesting. I thought about Days.
I know, but listen, I'm not saying he can't win because nothing will shock me in here. Having said that, I think that it's a problematic scenario in taking Irad Ortiz when your hands are up in the air. And I know, believe me, this was a race that gave me a headache. Don't get me wrong. But I think the first thing you're supposed to say is, okay, who's Irad riding? Oh, he's going to be over bet. This is an 8-1 shot that's going to be 7-2 or 4-1 or 9-2. So I have to pick against that horse. Don't you really think that's true?
No, I don't do that. I'm not thinking
But
that.
that's how you lose the track by doing that, right? I mean, to be fair, that's.
Like I said.
But doesn't that matter?
When I have it.
Doesn't that matter?
Yeah, it matters, but I don't know. So I'm supposed to go somewhere else?
Yeah,
because,
of course.
I don't know where else I'm supposed to go.
Let me put you this way, Anthony. Let's say you've looked at a race, and you've got a race, and you absolutely think only these 3 horses can win. Horse A is 45% to win. Horse B is 35% to win. Horse C is 20% to win. Horse A is going off at 3-5. Horse B is going off at 2-1. Horse C, who you have 20%, is going off at 12-1.
No, you're betting horse C.
So
but that's not going to be the case here.
Anthony, you don't add a sentence that distracts from the conversation. The conversation is you're always taking horses that are going to be significantly shorter, even with the takeout, than their chances of winning when you're picking Irad. So you're always betting on horse A in that situation. You're always doing that when you're taking Irad. I'm just saying. And
I don't know if you're always doing it.
Oh, no, you definitely
You think it's always happening? I don't know if it's always happening.
Well, it is. But it is right now.
I got to be honest with you. I don't
but
think I believe the Irad over bet theory as much as most people do.
Well, no, it's clear. I mean, he went off for 1-2 with the horse that had no chance to win at Aqueduct. He's being dramatically overbet.
I'm not saying it's not happening.
Now,
I just don't think it's always. I don't think this horse is going to be 5-2 because Irad's on.
I didn't say 5-2.
Well, whatever the horse is going to be.
This horse will be. I put it this way: if jockeys didn't matter, this horse wouldn't be 4-1 morning line. It would be 6-1.
I don't disagree with that.
So it's already built in, and you're taking the worst of it. This is a very tricky race. I think Corey Scores is a dangerous horse in this race. He's a better sprinter. His form left him at the end of the year. She doesn't win races, but she is a better sprinter. As far as Day's Humor, first of all, with the scratch, she's the speed.
Supposed to be.
Second of all, this horse, the Dam, is 1 for 3 with her turf production, and there was real improvement with their turf races. There were probably better turf sires, but Carpe Diem's like 12%, so he's not that bad. And I don't love this horse, but if this horse improves a little bit on the turf, this horse could absolutely win in here. And I thought this horse was a perfectly logical alternative in a race where the Zerenias of the world can win, but I'm not thrilled with him. Avis K Girl could win. I'll use her. I'll use Corey Scores. We'll see. But I think that the Irad Ortiz thing is a very important factor. Now, maybe Irad doesn't start winning races and other guys, and it mitigates, and maybe eventually it changes. But until that changes, you're going to end up picking some Irad Ortizes, as am I. But I think it has to be because you can't come up with a case for somebody else, and you think this horse just sort of has to win. I don't want to pick somebody else and mislead people. Otherwise, when there's an open race like this, I think the last thing, doesn't make me right. I think the last thing that you should ever do is go to Irad Ortiz. All right. Horse racing is about different opinions. Anyhow, it's nice to be back. Nice to see you.
Nice day.
It is a nice day.
Come on out.
There's a chance that within a couple of weeks it'll actually won't feel like winter around here.
I was complaining about that today. The weather's still a little chilly.
It's always slow in May. Yeah. Anyhow, you need to head over to Ira Bets
right.
for all the fun you've had here.
Track's fast, by the way. Upgraded to fast.
One less thing for you to worry about.
I knew that. I handicapped for
your sideburns went gray during the show, worrying about the weather.
My
Use the promo code MATCH200, and we will match it to $200 of your initial deposit. I have a question. Why is Preakness 146 on that Ira Bets ad?
Well, because the Preakness is coming up. That was last year's winners for Skydiver.
I'm aware, but okay. Someone will explain that to me later. I'm a little slow.
Right, because it's not a Preakness promo code. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Preakness is still they didn't move it here, did they? It's in Pimlico, right? It's not here, is it?
We won't be able to run it here. That gap doesn't, the chute doesn't go back that
Mile
far.
360s would be tricky. You make a great point. You could put it in. Glenn, get to work. $300 buy-in, Saturday contests, live money contest, NYRA.com/challenge. You have till 5 o'clock today to sign up. And finally, least but not last, or last but not least, 50-50. Aqueduct and Belmont and Churchill. And you know, so Francisco, we didn't have a slate for the TV show today? It's not your fault. Somebody else is going to pay for that. We are on from 3 to 8:30, you said, tonight? Yes. Covering our races and Churchill. Their card starts at 5, 50-50 on the app and the app only, $10 bonus. Also, 56, it's on FS2 from 3 to 8:30. Anthony made a slate. See how easy that was to make a slate? It's kind of hard to read, though, on TV. You need
what do you want to do? I don't have my Sharpie with me.
No, sorry, Anthony.
See it?
You tried, but
America's Day at the races.
You tried, but you failed.
America's Day at the
carry
races.
over the pick six, 56,615, I think.
Nope, 56,516 and 15 cents. You said 16. You went over by $1.
Did you get the 15 cents if you hit it? Did you get the 15 cents if you hit it?
I don't know. I've never scooped the pool.
I did.
My dad did.
I scooped the pool on Travers Day, 1993.
Wow. Travers Sea Hero.
Correct. The only reason we won is I just like Sea Hero, so we threw him in. Anyhow, we're done. It's been great to be back. It's great to see you here, there, everywhere. Johnny I next, the reprise scratch and changes, and 3 o'clock for the 3:05 post. America's Day at the races will start. I'll be joining Acacia. Maggie, of course, will be in the paddock. See you.